All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the GAR Capital YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 10K subscribers. We're right around like 8,600. Appreciate it, of course. Hit that like button if you like these videos. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures down about 117 points this morning. NASDAQ down about 109. S&P down about 0.62%. The Russell 1791 down 0.80. Gasoline futures down about 1.67 at $2.70. 1992 for gold futures down 1.36%. That's mostly the dollar. The dollar is up this morning about 0.19%, 101.93. Volatility index, we'll talk about the VIX, 1729 up 2.73%. Yield starting to bounce a little bit, 3.62% on a 10-year basis. Silver futures down about 0.5%. Copper futures down about 1.2% above $4. 1.0947 down 26 pips for the euro dollar. 134.35 for the dollar yen, 26 pips to the upside. 124.39 up 12 pips. This morning pretty flat on the pound dollar, even though they had their highest inflation core CPI reading ever. 29,245, down 3.5% for Bitcoin futures, a little below 30. We got out of those merit calls, great. I mean, Bitcoin we could play again if we get above maybe 32,000 or something. 1979 for Ethereum futures, down about 5%. So a risk-off morning this morning. Let's go ahead and go over S&P 500 futures quickly. Went ahead and did a long yesterday with the futures group. We got stopped out flat. We got as high as 12 handles. Ooh, right? I think we got as high as 41.82. We went in long at 41.70. That was our pivot point. You could see that green trend line. We broke that. So again, we could take that green trend line out. We tried to play that, so it was basically flat. We had a stop at 41.55. Good thing we moved the stop immediately to break even once we were 10 points up. But then we got a stop hunt right at 41.70, bounced again towards the end of the session, and then fell overnight. So no harm, no foul. We tried it, nothing really there. Key level here is 41.50 since 41.70 hit. 41.50 has been a key level of support lately and resistance lately. Still that magnet. You can see it right there, really since the beginning of April. I'll go ahead and just zoom into April, and you could see that it's just, that's the line in the sand. Either we're staying below it or staying above it. That's your key line, and that's your 200 1-hour moving average. Let's go to the daily here. Again, you could see kind of just getting up there in terms of movement. Still in the upward range, above 41.50, above 41.10 on that 20-day moving average. So really, what does this mean in terms of everything? I said this yesterday, guys. The VIX can only take so much. You're getting close to levels not seen since January of 2022, right at 1635. So a bounce is expected in the VIX, which would be a little volatility in terms of the market. So again, a little bit of redness, but we're not there yet. Want to short, just not yet. And we still have a gap to fill to the downside on the VIX right around 1697. I expect that to fill today. I expect markets to bounce today. As we get a little more, probably be the last bullish day, if not tomorrow. And Friday for OPEX, who knows what's going to happen. OPEX has been relatively weak. It has been kind of hit or miss. So again, I still think we're going to be in a chop range. Individual names are probably the best way to go. Still, there's opportunities out there. DraftKings soared yesterday. We played JP Morgan. We finally caught that. That was an excellent trade. Got up as high as 85% on that trade. So again, look at the NASDAQ, pretty much just chopping around in a range. So not much going on. We had Netflix earnings. I did not have Netflix calls or any trades. One of the members in market chat, premium chat, asked me about it. And I said it's pretty much red or black. Could be a roulette wheel at that point. We tagged 292 after hours. We bounced all the way to 340 overnight. And now we're at 326.37. Pretty much nuking any kind of put options and call options that are far out of the money, which really sucks. And Zoom Balloon saying, whoever swung Netflix options isn't going to have a fun day. Yeah. Again, guys, it's such a binary event. It's so difficult to trade it. You're better off just waiting for the reaction. So that's really the key. So Netflix, I mean, In terms of 326.11, let's go to the daily and see if there's anything that we could do. 326.11, I would say break 323.48 to the downside. Maybe we get a little bit more of a flush. Maybe we could target that 300 level, but I don't love it either. I need to get above 350. That's your gap fill in order to trade Netflix to the upside. So we did breach the 20-day moving average, so not much to happen there. Let's take a look at euro dollar. Alex is asking me this morning. Let's take a look at it. I have an alert at 111 on the daily. Once that breaks, I would go long to possibly a TP of 113 to 114 if I wanted to swing. As of right now, in terms to short, you need to get below 109. So 109, about 50 pips away from that. Once you get to 109, we could target 107.56. Maybe the dollar starts bouncing a little bit. We'll take a look at that here on the Dixie. And the Dixie is just holding that support, guys. That's really it. 101.63 is your level that you're looking for. Your next level down is 181. I expect that to break over the summer, like I said, for January. But right now, it is in a holding pattern. Guys, it's just chop. That's really all you're getting. This is nothing. There's some great short-term opportunities, but in terms of investing and in terms of doing anything much, no. NVIDIA hit new 52-week highs. I thought that was going to pull back, and it hasn't. So very, very difficult to trade this right now. But again, we're going slowly but surely as we go along day by day. Every day is a new market. I hate to say it. Let's take a look at Disney. They did report that they're going to have layoffs. I think Deutsche Bank was the one saying that they have some upside. It is trading now about a couple of cents down, maybe a 60 cents down. We do have a gap to fill here at 96.97. So how would we play that? I would say a break of 98.43 to the downside. That's your 20-day and 100 MA cross. If that does break down, I'll take a look at this gap to fill right here at 96. I'll probably play the 96 puts if anything, but as of right now, you're not doing much. You need to get above the 200-day moving average here on the daily, right around 102. So not much action there in terms of Disney. Let's take a look at what I got open. I do have Apple calls open. They're down about a buck this morning. We have a gap to fill here at 166.33. Again, it's a little bit of risk off morning. I say that we bounced today. Patron Boy is asking, do you expect more chop? I think we get chopped to the upside, kind of like end of the day, kind of spike like we've been getting the last couple of days. Maybe end up in the day around 41.80. Again, 4,200 is the big number that we're looking for. 41.55 being a key level in terms of the S&P. But that 41.70 pivot did give out overnight with lower volume. So again, let's see if we get back to 41.70 and hold that. That would really convince me that we have at least till 4,200 for more upside, if not a blow off top temporarily, and then we could see about getting some puts. But again, the VIX still has a gap to fill the downside. Apple, some stocks have some gaps to the upside. I expect those gaps to be filled. Let's take a look at Tesla this morning. They report after the market bell. You have a gap to fill here at 183.94. That could fill before earnings. You could see this downward channel that we've been getting, that we broke out of. But again, there really is no edge here. In terms of Tesla, you're stuck in a range between 210 and 170. If you break down below 170, yes, there is a gap to fill here at 146.53. It could be like a Netflix where you get all the way down to 146.53 and you bounce again and it kills your premiums? Probably. So I would stay away from Tesla unless you really want to play the lotto. The IV is just too high, implied volatility. They cut prices again on their models. We do have a gap to fill to the upside at 207. So even that's in play. It's really red or black on Tesla. I'll just wait it out and see what happens. Let's just do that as a trader today. Let's take a look at crude. Crude is interesting. Again, we still have that gap to fill here. I've been waiting for it here at 75.72. Would I play futures on it? Possibly. They are a little pricey in terms of the contracts. Let me see if I can set up here. Let me close this here. Remove drawing. Oh, I can't even start. I can't even do an alert. Either way, let me see if I can do it this time. The Microsoft. Okay, I can create an alert. Let me see if I can just do it on crude. Maybe sometimes it gives me some crap. Here we go. Single alert. Your gap fill here, guys, for a bounce possibly on crude oil is 75.79. I guess now I have two alerts. Let me cancel one. Okay, either way, I'll keep an eye on crude oil. In terms of crude oil, if we break below 78.97, that's where I'm looking for to play some shorts all the way to 76. It'll be 75, 79. It'll be a quick scalp. So again, watching crude oil from here. Let's see if that dollar strengthens. Again, I still think that we bounce anyways. I still think we get recapture 41.70 today. That VIX gap will be filled. But again, in terms of volatility index, just a little cheaper. That's what I want. Just the price to go a little bit lower, and then we want to go probably not long VIX, but at least buy some calls for some downside. That 4,200 level is a big level, and we're running out of time. It is April 19th. The Fed is in May. May is a seasonally weak month. April is the strong month. So the idea is to try to get all those calls out as we switch into puts. If we reject 4,200, now if we break out because everyone's short of May, then we'll revisit that as we go, because things can change so quickly. What range would you play implied volatility? What is too high for you? Well, I wouldn't say just the implied volatility being high, just the price of the actual option. For example, just yesterday, the 185 calls on Tesla were $6.55, and that's just for a 3-day expiry. I just don't see that as a good risk reward being so expensive. Just buying one contract is $655. Now, maybe I'm not that big of a baller in that sense, but again, I definitely want to manage my risk. That's how I think of it. So we could just play the reaction. Let's see, like Netflix. Good thing we didn't do anything. Maybe we could do something today. Let's wait the day, see if those options contracts reset, and then we'll get a chance. So again, the market's not going anywhere. I know we all want to win big and get those big bags, but let's not just throw away capital hoping for that. So let's go ahead and take our steps, take our time. I also have Boeing calls. Thank you. Adrian is probably one of ours in our service. So we do have Boeing calls. We do have a gap to fill at 207.96. It's down today. Again, that's expected with the market down about $1. I'm not too worried about Boeing. I think Boeing gets a little higher. I think we get to around that 211.38 level. I think we catch Boeing. I think we catch Apple on a bounce. Again, a slight one. Nothing huge, but again, keep an eye on the S&P 500 4170. That's what we're looking at. As long as we hope 4150, I think we're okay. 4170 will come. We'll fill that gap fill on the VIX. We'll keep an eye on our trades. We'll probably catch both today. I think so. I expect a nice green day today. Maybe we'll close around 4180, 4185 is my target of the day. I wouldn't trade SPY or 0TT options on it, but again, I do expect the bounce. 4,200 is where we get. If we don't get there by the end of the month, we're definitely going to reject down and, at least in my opinion, test 4,000. And if we don't and we continue higher, then we'll go ahead and go from there, because there's a lot of shorts out there, but we could fall a little more. Look at the volatility index now. Now it's 1694, up 0.65%. So again, not exactly inspiring a lot of confidence for the bears, as it has officially filled its gap. Well, check. The VIX just filled its gap. That was great. So again, some good news. I think we got some overnight weakness. Last couple of days, we've gotten some overnight strength sold in the morning. Maybe this time we get some overnight weakness and we get a bounce in the morning. Again, that's just purely by chance and nothing else. As of right now, the real main thing that stood out was Tesla cutting their prices. So that hurt a little bit of tech, since they're a big part of the Qs and the NQs, the NASDAQ 100. But again, you could see Boeing starting to bounce a little bit here. Again, we need to get above 208, 209, 207.97. That's your 100 moving average on the 1 hour. Let's go and bring up the daily on Boeing so you guys can take a look. And again, guys, just a simple gap fill, 211.38 above the 50 DMA and above the 20 DMA. We already know that's important for our momentum. Keeping an eye on JPM. I still have a runner on JPM. I have the 140 calls. We took most of that for profit. I only have one left. There's a gap to fill, 142.53. Got as high as 85%. But be careful, we have a gap here at 128.88. I have no problem shorting JPM as well. So we'll see what we get. Let's see if we break 135 at the downside, and then we can short good old JPM and those banks again. We've done it before. It's worked, and then it hasn't worked. So we'll try again if it comes out. All right, so that's where we are for the day. I wish there was more to report. It is kind of the quiet days post-spring, starting to get to the end of the month. May is where we have the FOMC, another round of CPI and all that good stuff. But as of right now, the seasonally strong month of April continues. We've had some pretty strong couple of days in the S&P, ending the day at least in price action, but we ended the day flat. So again, just see just a lot of choppiness. That's all you're really getting. But individual names have opportunities, but the indices really just chop. NQ stuck in a range, S&P stuck in a range. So again, it's time for us to kind of navigate the waters, find a name like a Mara, a DraftKings, a Boeing, an Apple, maybe a Pinterest, a Palantir, those names where we can start catching some quick ones, and we'll see what we get. Have a great rest of your morning. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note, and let's make it a great trading Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, all. Cheers.